And thank you for joining us here on the news at 4. I'm Shira Matsuzawa. We begin on the fire watch. A fire spotted about 1 week ago after a storm brought thunder and lightning to Idaho's west central mountains now threatens homes and cabins near the western shore of Lake Cascade. Hundreds of firefighters are battling the Four Corners fire, which burned nearly 6,000 acres, and that's according to the latest reports into our newsroom. These are some of the pictures viewers sent to us as the fire spread last night and continues to burn today. The Four Corners fire is on the west side of Lake Cascade, but it's all affecting life all over the area. For one, heavy smoke is impacting communities throughout Valley County. And here's the latest on evacuations from the Valley County Sheriff's Office. God's Acre and French Creek are in go status. People there have been urged to leave immediately. The Campbell Creek area is under pre-evacuation set status, meaning be prepared to evacuate at a moment's notice. Others in the surrounding area are in ready status, urged to consider evacuation preparations. And we have team coverage now from both sides of the lake. Brenda Rodriguez is on the east side in downtown Cascade. And we begin with Joe Paris reporting from the west side of the lake near the fire area. Joe.
Good afternoon, Shira. Yeah, I'm actually right in that Campbell Creek area that you just talked about, southwest of Lake Cascade, and directly behind me, several miles away, is exactly where the fire is burning. I'm told it's about 3 miles from where we're standing right now. We've seen a lot of cabins and a lot of temporary living areas as you come through into Campbell Creek, and it's mostly a ghost town. We did run into one family that we just spoke with for about a half hour, and they told us they're waiting for the phone call right now. They're in that get ready to go phase. They tell me over the last few days they've been working hard to pack in those valuables, those pictures, those paintings, things that you can't replace, packing them into their trucks and their cars, waiting for the phone call telling them they have to go. Now that's a phone call that this family says they're hoping they don't get, but right now what firefighters and people that are still left in this area are watching is the wind. Now we're the southwest area of Lake Cascade, and they're really hoping that the wind does not push towards us this way, because the fire that is burning just over the ridge that way, about 3 miles, they don't want the wind to push it back towards the lake, because that's where a lot of people do have cabins. That's where some people do live. To be frank, the neighbors in this area tell me that a lot of people that are in the Campbell Creek area and really back towards behind our camera position, most of them live down in the Boise area and they don't really live full-time up here. But some of the full-time residents are still up here and they're really just waiting and watching. And the family I spoke with say that last Thursday they actually noticed one of the first fires while they were actually out on a hike deep in that area. They actually called it in, and they say that they saw some smoke plumes, and they said very quickly the Forest Service and firefighters started to respond to it. Over the last several days, though, things have changed. They're very nervous as the fire starts getting closer and closer. They know that they have friends that live a few miles up that way that are already evacuated and gone. Again, the family we spoke with here near the Campbell Creek area, they tell us that they're waiting for the phone call that they hope they don't have to get. Now, we're going to be down in this area southwest of Lake Cascade this evening watching conditions. We'll be live all afternoon here on KTVB with the latest, including evacuation alerts as they update.
Yeah, definitely a lot of tense moments there right now. Thanks, Joe. And our Brenda Rodriguez has been catching up with people who live in Cascade. Brenda, what are they telling you?
Well, everybody seems a little bit devastated out here, rightfully so. We did go to a couple campgrounds that, and we also met up and just saw a couple people who were evacuating from their homes. Right now, however, we are at the Lake Cascade State Park's campgrounds. And I will say it's a little bit busy out here today, but it's important to mention not everybody out here is evacuating from their homes. They are out here just enjoying the weekend. So there's that. We were earlier today, we were at the fire base camp where we were just watching crews getting ready to, or setting up and getting ready to battle the fires. And here are a couple of pictures that showed us a little bit of how that fire looked like out there at the West Mountain. So we'll show you those right now. The Valley County Sheriff's Office issued the evacuation last night, just like you guys mentioned. And for those evacuating, there are a couple of camping areas all around Cascade, including Kelly's Whitewater Park. We were there earlier today. We only saw one couple out there. They just seemed devastated. They said that it's been a really, really hard time and just a really long day for them as well. There's also an area for livestock at the Valley County Fairgrounds, and Great Basin Team's Public Information Officer Jesse Bender says that it's important to take all the most important items that you can think of and just head out as soon as you can.
We would not ask people to leave their belongings, to leave their property, to leave their homes if we didn't feel like it was in their best interest.
And while right now officials do not have a time of when people can return to their homes, they are going to be monitoring that, and of course we are as well. And you know, this is a really hard time for those trying to evacuate, and we actually did speak to a couple in Cascade, downtown Cascade, who is evacuating today. And you know, even though it is a hard time, they say that it's really great to see all the community members just come together at such a devastating time. And of course, we're going to bring you that later this hour.
Yeah, no doubt they've been watching this and just waiting to see what happens. All right, thanks, Brenda. And let's get right over to Brian Holmes at the touchscreen to give us a better idea of where this fire is burning. Brian.
All right, Sherry, yeah, just to give you some perspective, this would be Lake Cascade here, reservoir, and this kind of in this area would be where Joe is, near the Campbell Creek boat ramp there. On the other side would be Brenda, where she just spoke to us there. So this is the perspective of this fire. By Monday, when it started on Saturday, it was only about 73 acres. It has since grown to about 5,500, a little more than 5,500 acres. You can see on this map how far it has spread. There's Lookout Peak right here. Some of these spots that you're seeing on this map, those are called thermal hotspots. Kind of some areas that are in there, but not quite burning yet, but there are some thermal hotspots here. And I want to show you what this looks like. If we go over to Google Earth here, you can see a kind of a rough outline of the map here and what that looks like, just again to give you some perspective of where we are. And you can see this would be the entire lake. And if we go into this view here, what we can see is how far away it is from this area where Joe was, in this area right around here. This is where a lot of these homes are planted, and a few more of those homes are up along this road that goes around the west side of Lake Cascade. And if we continue on that area, this is where we get into Tamarack. This would be the Tamarack area here, so it's still quite a distance from Tamarack and the resort there. There's Donnelly, but you can see it's a pretty big lake, and this is the burn area here on the Google Maps, and you can kind of see where this is coming from. So if we go here, we'll get a little bit more perspective when it comes to depth. Lookout Peak is right here, and again, if we move closer to the lake, you can kind of see where the town is and where these evacuation orders are in place all along this edge. And the reason there is because there was concern as that fire jumped that ridge earlier yesterday into the evening. They started that evacuation order. It would be from the Campbell Creek area, which is about here, all the way along into right around the Bear Creek Drive area, which is way up here. It's a vast area for the evacuations, but it just lets you know that they're not sure which way this is going to go. But you can see here as we get a better view, this is the burn scar so far of the Four Corners fire as it relates to Lake Cascade and the city of Cascade, and again, Tamarack Resort. So we're going to keep this updated. We'll get a better map as we get a little bit further into the evening, but this is kind of how this thing looks like, or what this looks like, and how it relates to some of the areas. There's Adams County here, or Gem County, Adams County, and most of this right now is in Adams County and Valley County over here. So it's kind of right at the crux of where these three counties come together. Shira?
All right, Brian, thanks. And the Federal Emergency Management Agency, also known as FEMA, has authorized the use of federal funds to help with the costs of fighting the Four Corners fire. The state of Idaho requested a federal fire management assistance grant earlier this morning. The FEMA regional administrator determined the fire had the potential to cause destruction that would constitute a major disaster. And this is the first grant of its kind this year for Idaho wildfires. It authorizes FEMA funding for 75% of the state's eligible firefighting costs, but the grants do not provide assistance to individual home or business owners. And you can also find updates about the Four Corners fire on our website at ktvb.com. We'll send a direct link for that story to your smartphone. Just text the word FIRE to the number on your screen. That's 208-321-5614.